to a new video. Today is Saturday the 29th of January and it's just before 9 a.m. rather. PM, it'll be a bit darker than this, 9 p.m. Yeah, so I'm off out on the fixie again this weekend. Going off up through on the old Midland line to Nailsworth, out to Evening, up onto the top of the Cotswolds there from there. Mainly because that's the easiest route of doing it, and then going out sort of around sort of the Fairford area, looping back down to Westbury, Wiltshire, and then coming back up north back home. So it's a 200-kilometre Audax, a DIY, so I've dreamt the route up myself, and yeah, looking at the got a bit of blue sky for a change. Anyway, come along, join me, and we'll see what we can see along the way. Well, you know, joining me, I'm just coming into Charrington, and so I rode up the old Midland line up to the head of the valley in Nailsworth, and then took the Evening Road, which is a valley as well, to be honest, but I suppose it's a bit of a continuation of the Nailsworth Valley, to the village of Evening, and then that's the easiest way of getting on top of the Cotswold escarpment from Evening. And I went up Star Lane there, and I'm actually slightly off route, and managed to get up the climb of Star Lane, and I'm now up on the top. I'm on my way down to Charrington. It's a lot more windy than it has been of late, so going down a little lane back there, a proper good tailwind. So it's going to mean when I get to sort of the Fairford area, I'm going to have a headwind all the way down to Westbury. But hopefully from there I'll get blown home. So horses for courses. Yeah. Oh, I'm now in South Cerney. I just called into the co-op there, and it's quite early for me. I got a coffee and a muffin, and yeah, it's just under 40k done, not bad. But yeah, still got 100 miles to do or thereabouts. So yeah, it's nice to be out in the sunshine for once. Outside of South Cerney now, and the area is littered with airfields. So this is another one. It's still an MOD establishment, and I think they do a lot of like charity parachute jumps and stuff from here. But there is MOD accommodation and stuff on the far side of the airfield here. As you can see, it's a grass strip now, but yeah, the area is littered with airfields. I mean, you've got Fairford, the most famous one at the moment, and you know, you've got Aston Down, which I mentioned earlier, and you've got Kemble, which is now called Cotswold Airport, and there's other like little small things, you know, and it does make you realise the scale of stuff back in the Second World War. You know, how many airfields and how many aircraft were actually involved in that. You know, they're just everywhere. I mean, it's even worse as further east you go. Not worse, but you know what I mean, even more of them, for want of a better description. But oh, my bike's just blown over. That's how windy it is. Excuse me a second. That's the second time in as many days I've had that happen. But I think this gate's blowing in the wind. Just move it over here whilst I talk to you. But yeah, so this is over here is South Cerney Golf Club. There's lots of people wandering around there with their bats, and so just down here, a couple of 100 yards, there is a road that runs that we'll have to cross. But that takes you down onto the I think it's the A419 or A417, I can never remember. And that takes you on down south to Swindon and eventually the M4, and you can cross over the M4 and one down to Wessex Downs, Marlborough Downs and all that. So yeah, So I'm just want to say thanks to Steve in the comments. Steve, I don't remember your surname off the top of my head, but thank you anyway, who pointed me at a good deal for a fixed wheel sprocket out at Planet X. So thanks for that, Steve. I have taken a look and I'll probably get one. Bit of a progress report, I suppose. Just skirted the hamlet of Barnsley, and that's not the Barnsley up north, it's near Cirencester, and I'm doing a bit of a loop and I come back through Bibury, which is a bit of a tourist trap. In fact, I've actually been quite surprised at how many cars have come along this lane, to be honest. It does make you wonder where they're all going, but anyway. So yeah, I just did a bit of a loop round to Bibury, and then I go work my way back to Cricklade. So you know, join me in Bibury. So we've got the Swan Hotel there and the old bridge. I think this is a River Colne, I think. And that's completely off the top of my head, so I could be talking complete rubbish. But yeah, it's a bit of a touristy trap, but it's lovely. I can understand why people come visit. A wooden footbridge over there, just on the other side of the road, without trying to be run over. And then you've got the trout farm over here. I mean, you can see the ponds over there that must have the trout in them. And this mill up here, there's a coffee shop in there, and I have been in there before, but I haven't been in there for a long time. But yeah, it's rather lovely. So basically this is the furthest north of this route today. So I'm going to follow the river along for about a mile or so, and then I'm going to loop back sort of southwest. Take me back down towards sort of the southern part of the route. The good thing about riding through these lanes is that you know, with the hedgerows either side, you do get quite a lot of shelter from this wind, because it's actually quite strong today. I'm just not used to it after sort of weeks and weeks of it being quite well, no wind at all really. I mean, yesterday I rode into work yesterday, and up in Gloucester, and you know, it was frosty and foggy. You know, there was hardly any wind at all. And, yeah. Anyway, let's crack on. Walk across the bridge rather than wrestle with the traffic. You get the a better view of the ducks. There's a lady there with two men. Utard. And then this is a view the other way. You see the stone bridge up there the people have stood on. I remember riding the tour of the Cotswolds, and we came along through here, and I remember the cycling club stopping in that cafe back there, all clapping as we came bombing through. How times have changed. Just go through Quennington and come across these statues, I don't know what you would call them, works of art done by the local blacksmith. So you've got a globe made of horseshoes and a cube, and this one here, the reminds me of the monument up at Nordkapp, right at the top of Norway. That's what it reminds me of. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it, you'll see what I mean. Anyway, came through the village, town, or whatever it is of Fairford, and I'm now on the outskirts of RAF Fairford, and as you can see, all the fencing around it, security, all that kind of thing, and we're actually looking directly down the runway. So beyond these orange whatever they are. I think that's something to do with the ILS system. You can just see the runway, and the runway here at Fairford is pretty long enough, I believe, if the rumour is to be believed, that it was a diver thing for the space shuttle because it's so long. And the other that's definitely true is on the first flight of Concorde out of Filton, it came here and landed here. So yeah, they're doing a lot of building work. I won't wave my camera around too much and make myself too conspicuous. So there doesn't appear to be anything stationed here at the moment, deployed here. We had I don't know, about 8 B-1 bombers for a few months before Christmas. They departed just probably 3-4 weeks before Christmas. But we do have U-2 reconnaissance spy planes that fly out of here quite regular, and they usually depart quite early in the morning, you know, sort of 7-8 o'clock in the morning, and you know, go wherever it is they're going. And I should suspect with the ongoing events in the Ukraine, I suspect they're going to be quite busy flying out of here, refuelling over the Flamborough Head refueling area, and then heading east over to the Ukraine and doing whatever they do over there at 70,000 feet. There's not one visible today. Oh, and now it's Wootton Bassett. Nearly halfway, which is amazing. I didn't think I'd got that far, but it is. It's nearly halfway. The wind is pretty strong, and it is a headwind as I expected. Well, it's kind of veering, you know, between headwind and like the sort of 1-2 o'clock position, depending, you know. So hopefully, you know, once we've got probably got another 20 miles of it, and then change direction again. So it will be, I don't know, probably a cross tailwind for the last bit, so that's alright. Yeah, the forecast isn't for it to be wet, but it does look like it could rain. I do have my rain jacket with me, so if it does, it does. Nothing really to report since the last time I spoke to you through Cricklade. Well, you now join me. I'm kind of in the lanes just south of Wootton Bassett. I stopped for something to eat in Wootton Bassett in the petrol station there. I did start to make a film there, but got interrupted, and I started to get cold as well because there wasn't really anywhere to shelter from the wind. So it was a BP garage, and they had an M&S shop, so I had my usual salad, which was actually quite nice. I had a Mexican rice and avocado, I think it was. It had a bit of a tangy sauce to it. That's really nice, enjoyed that. Didn't touch the sides, to be honest. Anyway, yeah, I've dropped out of Wootton Bassett. It's a bit of a descent, and then I've joined this little small road here off towards Cliff Pipard, and then I don't go up that steep hill there. I kind of follow that all the way to Colne, I think. I'm trying to remember it off of. I only dreamt up this route on Thursday, so it's kind of like flying by the seat of me pants, as it were. See what comes along. Anyway, let's crack on. Over halfway now. I think I was saying earlier that it hasn't meant to rain today, but sadly it has. And fortunately, not too bad. But if you look in front, I mean, it's quite misty. And anyway, since I last spoke to you, took the lanes all the way through to Colne, or rather the outskirts thereof, whereby I then joined this road. So this is behind me. There's a bit of a, well, it was quite a big climb actually, and before I got there I kind of knew it was coming on, and I was kind of a bit worried about walking up it because of traffic coming up behind quite quick. And as it turned out, I managed to ride all the way up, so I'm pretty pleased with myself. So I've come along the top now, so there's the North Wiltshire golf course at the top, and then just in front of me is Bishop's Cannings, but I'm going to turn right on the A road to Devizes. So I'll probably speak to you in Devizes if I could speak. Wow, it's nice to be better if I held the camera properly, wouldn't it? It's nice to be back on quieter roads. The road between Devizes and Pottern was horrible, so busy, and there were some traffic lights along there, and stops at the traffic lights, and there was one car in front of me, so I just stayed behind him. Anyway, all the traffic went through, changed to green, and the car behind me basically tried to run me off the road because I was in his way. Anyway, internally I was like, don't react, you know, tomorrow that person's still an arrogant idiot, you know, it's not worth getting upset about. So I just cracked on, got to Pottern, about a mile further on, and there's Albert Einstein parked up outside the convenience store, and I'm like, wow, all that was to get to the shop quicker. Some people, eh? Anyway, we're gradually getting there. I'm now in Eddington, which is about 4 miles from Westbury. The White Horse and what have you is just a bit over there. But I thought I'd speak to you because I wanted to share the good news in that I've just changed direction, so I now haven't got a blockhead wind. Oh dear. So in terms of progress upgrade, 86 miles, no idea what that is in kilometres. Let's work it out, come on. Oh, stop being lazy. So that's 23 miles over, let's call it 23 miles, that's 40k, 140k done, give or take. You can tell me off with my bad maths in the comments if you want. Yeah, so we're going off down in that general direction, off towards Steeple Ashton, and then on to Melksham. Made it as far as Melksham, my final stop. Just got a coffee at the Yesso shop here. Lady serving in there who clearly hadn't been to charm school. Oh dear. Like, she said something, didn't hear what she said, and then she sort of barked it at me, and I'm like, Jesus, don't take it out on me because you're working on a Saturday night. Anyway, so yeah, I got about 30 something odd miles, probably 50k, something like that. Oh, it's a bit of a shadow. Don't know if you can see behind me, but the skies, let's start again, the skies are clearing, so the weather front that blew through decided to bugger off right at sunset, so you know, can't really bloody enjoy the sunshine. Oh, my bike's filthy again. It's yeah, so it's about 10 past 5 now. Probably about, on this bike, probably about, should be home for about 8ish, half 8, something like that. Not too bad. Law, isn't it? The wind's dropped. When I wanted it to blow me home, it hasn't. I mean, I can hardly feel anything now, and looking at the trees over there, they're hardly moving. And yet it's been quite windy all day. Well, I'm not going to have a go on the lottery this week. My luck's clearly out. Oh, there's the sunset. See the stars coming out now. Despite what I said in Melksham, the wind hasn't totally died down, but it's a lot less than what it was earlier. See the lights of Corsham ahead. It's my next town. This is Corsham, made famous by its peacocks that roam freely around the streets, although I do think I haven't seen them today, so maybe they only do that in the summer. But yeah, coming through here on your bike and you can hear the sound of peacocks. Brilliant. So from here I'm just heading north now up to, for those that know the area, up to Biddestone, Yatton Kennel, and then to Acton Turville eventually. And then on to Badminton, Laterton I think, and then back down Foster Hill home. Anyway, so folks, that's another one ticked off. So I last spoke to you in Corsham. That's at least 50k back, and I didn't really do any filming after that because it's just pitch black, you know. It's also rural and villages and that don't have street lights and all that sort of thing, so it's not really anything to talk about, you know. Anyway, yeah, not too bad. It's a lot more, it's about half as much climbing again as it was last week in last week's ride, so yeah, I'm quite happy with that. 11 hours something. I only had one stretch that I had to walk up, and that was in the lanes, and that was only because I had no momentum coming into the bottom of the little pit, so yeah, I'm really happy at getting up that climb at Colne. That, if you'd have asked me before, I was like, no chance, but I did it, so you know. Anyway, I'm not going to be riding this bike at least for a few more weeks because I'm away next week, and Dartmoor isn't a place for a fixed wheel bike, and I've got my wheels. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do the weekend after. We shall play that right here. Brand new Range Rover. Anyway, thanks for joining me today, and I shall see you on the next one.